Peace and love. Welcome to Pisces season. Montague here with another reading for the group. As you know, this is one of my favorite offerings to give. We're going into spring. So this is some advice going into spring. What should we be up to? What should we be thinking about on our way before things start popping out the earth and surprising us April 21st, right? The first card we want to look at is the Martyr, okay? The Martyr. The Martyr is talking about, have you fully immersed yourself into your calling? Or are you still kind of stuck in your own individual world? So this card's asking for you to balance that. If you feel like you've been too much in your own head and haven't been connecting to your purpose or your people, then you want to look into that and see if there's a way you could surrender even farther and even deeper. All right, so that's the Martyr. First card for the group is saying Knight of Brooms. The Knight of Brooms. Knight of Brooms says that we've been extremely busy. And a lot of us have been busy in our purpose. We've been busy in our purpose. We've been busy in paying attention to the things we really want the most. Maybe some of us have been angry. This card also can talk a lot about anger being out of control. So there's those of us who have been angry, and there's those of us who have been able to move in our higher purpose. That's kind of what we're dealing with right there. You know which one you've been. Have you been angry? Have you been in your purpose? Maybe you've been in both, right? The next card is about our... I've got the Page of Machetes here. This is the card around our relationships. This card is saying that we got to listen more. Less talking, less talky, more watchy. And also kindness in our words is going to be extremely important during this pre-spring little pocket of time that we're in. All right, Page of Machetes. We're going to be dealing with kindness. You're going to be dealing with listening more before speaking. You're going to be dealing with sort of the strategies of, this is what I heard. Is this what you're saying? It's going to be better for you to listen than to speak right now in your relationships. Here's the card around your creative stuff. Boom, boom, boom. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is saying that you really want to beautify your surroundings, okay? So if you're working in an office where you don't feel inspired, if you're working in a space where you don't feel uplifted, it's time to do something about it. You might have to change out the chairs. You might have to put up a different painting above, or, write inspirational quotes around the room. Whatever it is, this room should feel like heaven wherever you're doing your work. Also, we want to see these things materialize. So start to think about how can I make these creative things materialize and help people in a practical way, So be thinking about that. There's an element of practicality here. There's an element of also enjoying your art. Maybe it's time to sit down and watch all your films, or sit down and have a little party and have people come and look at all your paintings. Maybe it's time for you to relax and enjoy the music you've made with a bunch of people. There's also an element of that. So whatever one you are, it'll resonate with you. All right. Next one, your work. It's saying that some of us need to save money. We need to save, but we also need to capitalize on opportunities at the same time. It looks like it's time for some of us to really get into wealth building and to make moves around, once again, any opportunities that come about. This is a big wealth card. It's about pushing, and taking opportunities as they're given, and seeing those things come to fruition, seeing them go all the way to the end. Okay, so there's that. Oh, Biggest weakness card, which makes complete sense. The Knight of Machetes is talk, 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 think, think, think. This card is saying we've been too much in our heads. It's time to think with other parts of our body. It's time to get into the heart, time to get into the gut. You know, maybe even time for some of us to get into the root chakra. But either way, all the chatter in the head, all the distractions are keeping us from getting projects done. So there's going to be a need for some accountability there. There's going to be a need for life coaches. There's going to be a need for partnerships. There's going to be a need for really just making sure that we're talking less, you know, especially around our mentors and around those who we know we should be listening to. But just in general, though, the saying talking and overthinking is our enemy right now. All right. And also putting out things before they're ready. All right. Queen of Brooms. Some of us need to check on our mothers. We need to check on our moms. So check, see how mom's doing. Make sure mom's okay. Let her know you're not mad at her, that you accept her for who she is. You know, and that, yeah, you appreciate everything she's done for you. You know, it's time to honor your mother. It's time to exalt your mother, and to really thank your mother and give her gifts, give her something. Because it's mom time. It's mom time. And as we move towards the spring, that mom energy is just going to go up even more and more, all the way till we get to Mother's Day itself. So the divine feminine wants its respects. Also, with family and close relatives, it's going to be important for you to tell them what you need, right? Tell them, hey, I might need you to do this. I might need you to do that. I might need you to support me here, you know, and to share your vision with them. You know, don't be overly secretive with family right now. It's good to share and say, hey, look what I've done. This is what I'm passionate about. And do you want to get in on some of this work with me? All right. But it looks like one of the key things we should be looking at doing is focusing on our mental health. Mental health, that's what this card's about. Mental health, right? You see them on the boat moving towards peace and tranquility with the swords stuck into the ship. You know, six of swords, right? So this is a time for healing. This is a time, once again, not for over talking, overthinking. This is a time for healing. This is a time for praying. This is a time for atonement. This is a time for forgiveness. So if there's anybody you haven't forgiven, make sure you forgive them. Because, boop, looks like there's some challenges coming a little bit later on. Shocker, right? Are we shocked that there's challenges afoot later on this year that are probably going to hit in the springtime? So charge up now, because the challenge is coming, but it's something that we can think our way out of. It's something that if we're listening, if we're connected, we can think our way out of, right? Because right now, the devil is king, right? This is the energy that's around us right now. The energy of entrapment, the energy of the bad guy, the energy of dog eat dog, the energy of you know, people feeling locked or bound to things that they don't want to be bound to. We're surrounded by addictions, and you know, some of us might be addicted to things that we're trying to do less of, and it's time to really stand your ground against all of it. You know, all the stuff in the media. You know, I think this Knight of Machetes not just saying don't talk so much, but it's also saying be careful how you take in the news right now, right? Be careful how you take in the news. You don't have to, just because you get that signal on your phone, doesn't mean you have to press the button and listen to Trump's latest, you know, plan right before you go to sleep if it's going to rile you up. You don't have to answer that call from that family member, you know, at 9 o'clock at night. You don't have to, you just have to manage your information. All right. Managing your information, you know, and making sure that that's when Making sure there's set times for when you're putting your mind into a tizzy, but that you're not accessible to people 24/7. All right, so that's some of it. Let's see what else we get here. Let's see what practices we should be delving into right now. I'm gonna pick 3 cards that represent 3 practices that we all should be engaging in, leading all the way up to the spring, right? Leading all the way up to the spring. What are 3 practices that will help us as we move that way? One of them is gonna be dance. Get out there and dance, all right? You don't have to be at the club to dance. You could dance in your own house. Move your hips. Some of our bodies, we've been sitting down all day trying to execute dreams that are in our minds, but have been ignoring our bodies, right? Right? The next thing, this is big. Look at this. Connect with your ancestors. Connect with your ancestors, all right? So that's the next thing you should definitely be doing, is connecting with your ancestors. That could be through an African tradition. That could be through prayer. That could be through going to a landmass that represents your people, or going to your mom's old house or whatever. But either way, it's time to connect and learn from their example. All right. The last one, build strength. Build strength. It's time for some of us to hit gyms. For some of us, at least make sure we take a walk a day. All right. We need to build strength. Build strength. Build strength. I know I do, especially in this thumb with the tendonitis. That's a whole nother issue I've been having. So remember, we're going to build strength, connect to our ancestors, and we're going to be dancing. Okay, we're going to be dancing. All right, let me know how the dancing goes for you. I guess I'll pick 2 more cards just because there's a card I want to play with. See if you guys resonate with it. But first, we're going to do Sacred Rebels. Sacred Rebels. Sacred Rebels is Heaven Sent. We got number 33 here. 33. Heaven Sent. Okay? 33 Heaven Sent. Let's see what that means in this book. This is called Sacred Rebels. This is a newer deck to me. And I really like it. I've been playing a little bit with it, and I feel like there's a lot of great wisdom within its wording. It just says, just as we receive gifts in the physical world through the thoughtfulness of others to acknowledge how much we mean to them, so too we receive gifts on other levels, including the spiritual level. A spiritual gift is something that happens through grace. We can ask for help, and it may be given in response to that request. All requests for help are answered. A spiritual gift can also be given without us asking for anything at all, at least not consciously. Sometimes it's our hearts that cry out for help. While we are busy getting on with our to-do list, we don't often stop to think about what our hearts might need. Okay, so this goes into the reading just prior, talking about not so much up here, let's go here, because some of us need gifts sitting upon our hearts, okay? If we do, an immediate solution is not obvious, we just get on with life, either letting the issue be or taking the more painful option of dwelling on it without seeing how it might be observed. However, there is a loving benevolence in life that knows exactly what we need and how it can best come to us, all right? So there's some gifts coming to some of us, but your heart has to be open to it. You have to have the capacity to hold a gift. You can't just receive a gift with no hands, right? You got to have hands for it. Some of us are doing this, and the gift is falling. So let's not move in that way. All right, so the last thing I want to do is pick an Old Testament scripture. I have these Old Testament cards, and I've been enjoying picking a scripture. We could pick a scripture that represents what we should be gearing up for, right? Before spring hits. Here we go. Boom. 8 of diamonds. It says, now David was the son of Sorry, I need to take these glasses off. All right. Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men an old man in the days of Saul, right? So it says David was the son of so-and-so, whose name was Jesse. And he had 8 sons, and the man went among men, an old man in the days of Saul. So it looks like some of us are going to be called. It said, the man went among men. Some of us are being called to stand, and we got the 8s here. The 8s are about power, expansion, gaining more territory. The 8 on its side is infinity. So also that represents sustainability, yin and yang, right? Some of us are being called to stand in places where maybe we would have been intimidated before. Maybe we wouldn't have went before, but we're being called now. This is a time of calling, and accept the call, right? But we'll be checking in again when spring actually hits. In the meantime, stay tuned for some of my other offerings, and keep your heads up and shoot me any questions if you have any questions. And yeah, talk to you soon.